Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Tata Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय शिला प्रभुपाद की जय शिला गुरु महाराज की जय नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Hare
नमो
Krishna
विष्णुपादाय
Krishna Krishna
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's chant our morning prayers, beginning with Shri Guru Ashtakam by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Samsara dava nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghana tvam praptasya kalyana gunarnavasya vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita Vaditramadhyan Manasorasena Romanchakampa Shrutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigraharadhana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandiramarjanado Yuktasya Bhaktamscha Niyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvidha Shri Bhagavat Prasada Swadanna Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangan Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदम श्री राधिका माधवयोरपार माधुर्य लीला गुण रूप नाम प्रतीक्षणा स्वादन लोलुपस्य वंदे गुरो श्री चरणारविंदम निकुञ्जयोनुरतिकेलिसिद्ध्यै अयालिभिर्युक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्रादिदक्षदतिवल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणहरविन्दं साक्षाद्धरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रैरुक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव सद्भिः किन्तु प्रभुर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणहरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत्प्रसादो यस्या प्रसादान्न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायन्स्तुवंस्तस्य यशस्त्रिसन्ध्याम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणारविन्दम् श्रीमद्गुरोरष्टकमेतदुच्चये ब्राह्मे मुहूर्ते पठति प्रयत्नात् यस्तेन वृन्दावननाथ साक्षात् सेवैव लभ्य जनष्वन्त एव श्री चैतन्य शिक्षाष्टकम् चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादवाग्नि निर्वापणं श्रेयः कैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणं विद्यावधू जीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण संकीर्तनं नाम्नामकारि बहुधा निज सर्वशक्तिस्तत्रार्पिता नियमित स्मरणेन कालः एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवन् ममापि दुर्दैवमिदृशमिह जनिनानुराग तृणादपि सुनिचेन तरोरपि सहिष्णुना मानेन मानदेन कीर्तनीय सदा हरि न धनं न जनं न सुन्दरीं कवितां वा जगदीश कामये मम जन्मनि जन्मनीश्वरे भवतात् भक्तिरहैतुकी त्वयि अयि नन्द तनुजा किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पाद पंकजस्थितधूलिसदृशं विचिन्तय नयनं गलदश्रुधारया वदनं गद्गदरुद्धया गिरा पुलकैर्निचितं वपु कदा तव नाम ग्रहणे भविष्यति युगायितं निमेषेण चक्षुषा प्रावृशायितं शून्यायितं जगत्सर्वं गोविन्द विरहे नमे आश्लिष्य वा पादरतां पिनष्टुमाम् अदर्शनान् मर्महतां करोतु वा यथा तथा वा विदधातु लम्पटो मत्प्राणनाथस्तु स एव नापरा प्रभुर शिक्षाष्टक श्लोक जय पढ़े सुने कृष्ण प्रेम भक्ति तारा बाड़े दीने दीने लेट्स नाउ ऑफर आवर prayers to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Mahaprabhu's associates. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Dayalu Jagat Samsare Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatar Mosama Patita Prabhu Napai Bear हा हा प्रभु नित्यानंद प्रेमानंद सुखी कृपा बलोकना कोरो आमी बोड़ो दुखी दया कोरो सीतापति अद्वैत गोसाई तब कृपा बले पाई चैतन्य निताई गौर प्रेममय तनु पंडित गदाधर श्रीनिवास हरिदास दयार सागर हाहा स्वरूप सनातन रूप रघुनाथ भट्ट युग श्रीजीव प्रभु लोकनाथ दया कोरो श्री आचार्य प्रभु श्रीनिवास रामचंद्र संग मागे नरोत्तम दास. Next, let us chant the prayer, which is our Manjari Upasana by Srila Narottam Das Thakur, Radha Krishna Pranamor, Yugala Kishore. Radha Krishna Pranamor, Yugala Kishore, जीवने मरणे गति आर नाही मोह कालिंदीर कुले केली कदम्बे रावण रतन बेदीर ऊपर बोसाबो दुईजन श्याम गौरी अंगे दीबो चंदनेर गंध चामरडू लाभो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्र গাথিয়া মালতীর মালা দিব দোহার গলে, অধরে তুলিয়া দিব কর্পূর তাম্বুলে। ললিতা বিশাখা আদি যত সখী বৃন্দ, আজ্ঞায় করিব সেবা চরণারবিন্দ। শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভুর দাসের অনুদাস, সেবা অভিলাষ করে নরোত্তম দাস। শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভুর দাসের অনুদাস, সেবা অভিলাষ করে এই অধম দাস। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Yesterday was Shri Radhashtami. What else was there yesterday? Can someone tell me? Raise your hand. Yesterday was Shri Radhashtami. What other Ashtami was it yesterday? Yes, Ananya, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Was it the appearance day of Vishaka Sakhi?
Yes, very good. Very good. Very, very good. It was also the appearance day of Shri Vishaka Sakhi. And who is Vishaka Sakhi also? In her enthusiasm to serve Radha and Krishna, what does Vishaka Sakhi, who does Vishaka Sakhi expand herself into? Who knows? Raise your hand if you know. Who does Vishaka Sakhi expand herself as in Vrindavan and in Dwarka? Yes, Aparna Mataji has rightly said, Shri Yamuna Devi. So in honor of Vishaka Sakhi, let us chant Shri Yamuna Ashtakam. Vishaka Sakhi is so enthusiastic to serve Radha and Krishna that in Vrindavan, she manifests herself as Shri Yamuna Rani. And when Krishna goes to Dwarka, she comes there as, raise your hand if you know. Who is Vishaka Sakhi in Dwarka? Yes, Pradyumna Prabhuji. Yes, Pradyumna Prabhu. Okay, Ananya, you go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, is it one of the queens of Krishna?
Yes. What is her name?
Mother Kalindi? Kalindi.
Yes, Damodar Mataji has said correctly. Kalindi. Kalindi is Yamuna. So one of the main 8 Mahishinis, one of the 8 main queens of Krishna in Dwarka, like Rukmini Devi, Satyabhama Devi, is Kalindi Devi. So Vishaka Sakhi appears in Dwarka as Kalindi Devi, one of the wives of Krishna. And Lalita Sakhi appears as Jambavati. Chandravali appears as Rukmini. And Srimati Radharani appears as Satyabhama. Actually, all of them are expansions of Radharani only. But the fact is that Vishaka Sakhi, who shares the same birthday with Srimati Radharani, appears as Yamuna Devi. So I don't have a Vishaka Ashtakam. So we will chant Yamuna Ashtakam because Yamuna Devi is Vishaka Sakhi. So Shri Yamuna Ashtakam by Srila Rupa Goswami. Today we will study this Ashtakam. भ्रातुरन्तकस्य पत्तनेऽभिपत्तिहारिणि प्रेक्षयाति पापिनोऽपि पापसिन्धुतारिणि नीरमाधुरीभिरप्यशेषचित्तबन्धिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्दबन्धुनन्दिनी. So we have read this Ashtakam many times. Arvinda means lotus, Bandhu means friend. Who is Arvinda Bandhu? It is Surya Dev, because Surya Dev, when the sun rises, the lotus blooms. So sun is considered to be a friend of the lotus because sun makes the lotus bloom. So Arvinda Bandhu is Surya Dev, and Nandini means daughter. Vrishabhanu, Nandini. So the daughter of Surya Dev. And who is the daughter of Surya Dev? It is Yamuna Devi. Yamuna Devi appears as the daughter of Surya Dev. And she is the sister of Yamraj. Yamraj, Yama and Yamuna. Anybody who takes a bath or offers obeisances to Shri Yamuna Devi never has to see Yamraj. At least not in his fierce form. As a Mahajan, yes. So Shri Yamuna Ashtakam. So Arvinda Bandhu Nandini. Mam Punatu. Punatu means please purify me. Please purify me. So that is the whole theme of this Yamuna Ashtakam. Please purify me. Because unless and until we become purified, we cannot serve Radha and Krishna. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam dridha vrataha. We have to be free from all sins and pap karma. And we should be engaged in punya karma, spiritual punya karma. Bhakti prada sukrati. Only then we can do Krishna's bhajan with steadiness. Otherwise, our spiritual life is always unsteady, as we all experience. Sometimes we are able to wake up, sometimes we are not able to wake up. Sometimes we are able to complete our sankhya of japa, sometimes not. Sometimes we commit Vaishnava aparadh, we get angry, we feel overcome by lust. So many problems are there. Our bhajan is unsteady. Why? Because we continue to commit sins. Esham tvantagatam papam jananam punya karmana te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajate mam tridhavata. So we are not purified. So this is a prayer for purification. So it's a very, very important prayer. Very important prayer. Because Mahaprabhu's teachings are that everything begins with purification. Cheto darpana marjanam. So we have to purify our consciousness. And this is a prayer for Mam Punatu. Please purify me, Yamuna Rani. Please purify me. So Bhraturanta pattane bhipatti harini. Yamuna Devi prevents one from having to go to the city of her brother. Bhratur. Bhratur means brother. Who is the brother? Yamraj, the lord of death. Antakasya. Bhraturanta pattane bhipatti harini. She prevents us from going to Yamraj for punishment. Prekshayati, simply by seeing her. Prekshayati means simply by seeing her. Simply by seeing Yamuna Devi. Simply seeing her delivers even the greatly wicked from the ocean of sins, Papa Sindhu. The most wicked and sinful person, Papino. Api, even a most sinful person is delivered from Papa Sindhu Tarini. Tarini means to deliver. Tarini is also a name of Radharani. Tarini is also a name of Yamuna Rani. Prekshayati, just by having darshan of Yamuna, that's why Srila Narottama Thakur has said that the quality of a great Vaishnava is darshane pavitra karo ei to margun. Just by taking darshan of a pure devotee, we become purified. So therefore, we should have photos of Yamuna in our house, photos of Govardhan, photo of Radha Kund, Sham Kund, so that we get all these not just spiritual sukriti, bhakti prada sukriti, but also they act as uddipan, stimulants for Radha Krishna Smaranam. So just by taking darshan of Yamuna Devi, Papino api Papa Sindhu Tarini. A most sinful person is delivered from his or her ocean, Sindhu, of Pap, sins. Bhraturanta pattane bhipatti harini. Prekshayati papinopi Papa Sindhu Tarini. Neera madhuri bhirapya shesha chitta bandhini. Her sweet water, Neera Madhuri. Neera means water. Her sweet water, Madhura water, captivate everyone's heart. Chitta Bandhini. She captivates everyone's heart. May Yamuna Devi, daughter of the sun god Surya Nandini, who in this song is called Arvinda Bandhu, friend of the lotus, always purify me. Mam Punatu, always purify me. Yamuna Devi, please purify us so that we can serve Radharani. Bhraturanta pattane bhipatti harini. Prekshayati papinopi Papa Sindhu Tarini. Neera madhuri bhirapya shesha chitta bandhini. Mam Punatu sarvadara vinda bandhu nandini. Ashesha chitta bandhini. Means she attracts the heart, her sweet water attracts the heart of everyone. Ashesha, everyone. Koi nahi bachega. Shesha means the remaining. Nobody will, everyone's heart will be attracted, captivated by her sweet waters. Why the water is so sweet? Because Radha and Krishna do Nitya Vihar in Yamuna Rani. They do their Jal Krida, they have their Nauka Vihar pastimes. Even after Ras Lila, they go and bathe in the sweet waters of Yamuna Devi. So Neera Madhuri Birapyesh. Madhuri also means the Madhurya Lila is taking place in her neer. In her water, the Madhurya Lila is taking place. Neera Madhuri Birapyashesha Chitta Bandhini. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Please purify us, Yamuna Devi. Hari Vari Dharaya Bhimandito Rukhandava Pundarika Mandalodya Danda Jali Tandava Snana Kama Pamarogra Papa Sampadandhini Mampunatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Shri Yamuna Devi adorns Indra's immense Khandava forest with her enchanting current, and upon her blooming white lotuses, birds such as wagtails always dance. What to speak of bathing? Simply desiring to bathe. Snana Kama. Just to have this kamana that I want to take Yamuna Snan. Simply desiring to bathe in her water frees a sinner from his many heinous sins. Snana Kama Pamarogra Papa Sampad Andhini. She destroys Andhini. She makes them blind. The Pap Purush will be blinded by Yamuna Devi's Pratap. Pundarika means the lotuses, white lotuses. So Hari Vari Dharaya Bhimandito Rukhandava Pundarika Mandalodya Andajali Tandava. Tandava means the dance of these birds. So very beautiful. Yamuna Devi is very beautiful. She is decorated with white lotuses, and beautiful birds are also dancing in ecstasy. And in the purifying waters of Yamuna Devi, even if we just desire that I want to take a bath, all our sins are destroyed. What to speak of if we actually go and bathe? Just by having a desire that one day I want to do Yamuna Snan, all our sins are destroyed. Snana Kama, Pamarogra. Pamar is very, very sinful person. And our Pap Purush, Andhini, becomes blind. Then they cannot chase after us. They become blind. That is Yamuna Devi. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu. Please purify me always. Always. Not just today. Always. Because today you will purify me, tomorrow again I may perform sin. So, Mam Punatu Sarvada. Always. Sarvada. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu. Please purify me for all time to come, Yamuna Devi. So in the first verse, first line, we saw how by taking shelter of Yamuna Devi, we never have to suffer at the hands of her brother Yamraj. Just by taking darshan of Yamuna, all our sins are destroyed. And the sweet water of Yamuna, where all the Madhurya Lila take place, they chitta bandhini, they attract, captivate our hearts. And second verse, in the first line, we saw how Yamuna Devi is so amazing that she is the great decoration of the Khanda forest. Then there are white lotuses, Pundarika, that bloom in the Yamuna's water. And Andajali Tandava. And the birds which are born from eggs, the wagtail birds, which are very beautiful dancers, Tandava, they are always dancing blissfully near Yamuna. So here, Prekshayati Papinopi Papasintarini, just by taking darshan of Yamuna, sins are destroyed. And here it is said, Snana Kama Pamarogra Papa Sampadandhini. Just by having a desire to bathe in Yamuna, all the sins are destroyed. Let's go to verse number 3. Shikharabhimrishta Jantu Duravipaka Nandanandanantaranga Bhakti Pura Varadhini Tira Sangamabhilashi Mangalanubandhini Mampunatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Touching but a single drop, just a single drop of Shri Yamuna Devi, her Yamuna Jal, nullifies a person's most heinous crimes. Durvipaka Mardini. The most heinous crimes are also nullified by just one little drop. If we come in contact, one drop of Yamuna. Yamuna Devi increases the current of Raganuga Bhakti for Sri Nandanandan Krishna. Nanda Nanda Nan Taranga Bhakti Pura Vardhini. The Bhakti Taranga, the waves of Bhakti that we feel for Nandanandan Krishna, Vardhini, she increases our Bhakti. So she is Bhakti Prada. She gives us Bhakti for Nandanandan Krishna. And Tira Sangamabhilashi Mangalanu Bandhini. She brings auspiciousness, Mangala. She brings auspiciousness to anyone who simply desires, Abhilashi. Simply desires what? To reside on the banks of Yamuna. Ami Yamuna Puline, Kadamba Kanane. A Tira Sangha. Anybody who desires to have Sangha of the bank of Yamuna, Yamuna Pulina. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. One of the names of Radha and Krishna is Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Together they Chara means to move around. They walk on the banks of Yamuna together, holding each other's hands. So Radha and Krishna are Yamuna Tira Vana Chari. They go here and there on the banks of Yamuna, in the different forest groves which are situated on the banks of Yamuna. So any devotee, any sadhak who has a desire, who has abhilasha, that I want to reside on the tir, on the bank of Yamuna. Tira Sangam Abhilashi Mangalanu Bandhini. You increase the auspiciousness in the life of such a devotee. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vindabandhu Nandini. So in the first line of the third verse, the power of one drop, Shikhara Bhimirshta Jantu Durvipaka Mardini, is described. One drop. What does it have? Durvipaka Mardini. It has the power to destroy the greatest sins. Just one drop of Yamuna. One drop of Yamuna. And in the second line, it is described that she causes Bhakti Vardhan. She increases our Bhakti for Nandanandan Krishna. Nandanandan Antaranga Bhakti Pura Vardhini. And then the glory of the bank of Yamuna is described in the third line. What is the glory of Yamuna's banks? That anybody who just desires, forget actually residing on the bank of Yamuna, just by desiring to live on the bank of Yamuna, all auspiciousness comes in one's life. Yes, and this is actually a fact. My Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, when as a 19-year-old boy, he dropped out of the first semester of college and just came to Europe in search of God and then hitchhiked to India. Finally, on Janmashtami day, he came to Mathura and then came to Vrindavan. And then what was the dincharya of Maharaj? What was the schedule of Maharaj? For many, many months, Maharaj was homeless in Vrindavan. So he would just sleep on the bank of Yamuna. Tira Sangama Abhilashi. He would sleep on the bank of Yamuna. Morning he would wake up. One sadhu in Himalayas had given him a kopin, a cloth to wrap around his lower body, and a small chadar. It was all one cloth. 3 pieces were torn. 4 pieces. 2 pieces became the kopin. 1 piece became the wraparound loin cloth, and then 1 little chadar. So that chadar and dhoti and kopin, that's all. 3 sets of garments he had. Only one garment, like no other set. So Maharaj would wake up on the banks of Yamuna in the morning at 3 o'clock, and he would take bath with his clothes on. And that bath was bathing his body and washing his clothes also. And then with those same wet clothes, he would go. Of course, as he would run, everything would get a little bit dried up. And he would go and attend all the Mangal Artis of the Sapta Devalaya, the 7 Goswami temples, and also Radha Vallabh temple, which is very close to Radharaman. He would attend all the Mangal Artis. And then he would go on Govardhan Parikrama. And while doing Govardhan Parikrama, which takes around 3 hours, he would chant his rounds. And then all day, he would be sitting and visiting different holy places, meeting with sadhus, hearing instructions from them, like from Akinchan Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj, from Ramesh Babaji Maharaj. He would hear from Ghansham Baba. He would hear instructions from all these Vrajrasik sadhus and spend his day till late at night, hear Hari Katha, and then at night take a rest on the banks of Yamuna. Again take Yamuna Snan, attend all the Mangal Artis, do Vrindavan Parikrama, chant, hear from sadhus. And what was the result of all this? Tira Sangham Abhilashi Mangalanu Bandhini. What was the Mangal in his life? That in Shri Vrindavan Dham, Maharaj met the greatest Vrajrasik Vaishnava, Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajaka Ashtottar Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. And Maharaj says, in Vrindavan, as I heard, that time there was no Krishna Balram Mandir. This was 1971. As Maharaj heard Srila Prabhupada chant Jai Radha Madhav, the same bhajan that we just chanted, Maharaj realized in his heart that the symptom of spiritual advancement is humility and compassion. And Maharaj said, in all my travels, I had not seen a sadhu who had the humility and the compassion as Srila Prabhupada had. He could have happily lived in Vrindavan. Maharaj said, the life I am leading, Prabhupada was having that life, living in Radha Damodar temple. But he left all that to go to the Ugrasthan. Srila Prabhupada writes in his bhajan, Ei Ugrasthane, this Ugrasthan, Western world, filled with mode of ignorance, Rajo Tamo Guna, Rajogun and Tamogun. He came there. Why? Only out of compassion. So Maharaj says that as we make spiritual advancement, our compassion increases and our humility also increases. When Prabhupada was asked, are you the guru of Allen Ginsberg? Prabhupada said, I am nobody's guru, I am everybody's servant. So Maharaj understood that this is the greatest Vaishnava and I must surrender to him immediately. And then and there in Vrindavan, Maharaj decided that I have to accept Srila Prabhupada as my eternal spiritual master. That is what Srila Rupa Goswami is saying. And Prabhupada is a Kripa Patra of Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami came, appeared to Srila Prabhupada and said, we are all there with you, just go and preach now. Tira Sangama Abhilashi Mangalanu Bandhini. Shri Yamuna Devi brings auspiciousness to anyone who simply desires to reside on her banks. So I was just reminded of this. Verse number 4. Dvipa Chakravala Jushta Sapta Sindhu Bhedini Shri Mukunda Nirmitoru Divya Keli Vedini Kanti Kandali Bhirindra Nila Vrinda Nindini Mampunatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. There are 7 oceans in the Bhumandala. Ocean of sweet water, salty water, ghee, liquor, yogurt, milk, etc. Made by the wheels of Maharaj Priyavrat's chariot. So, but Shri Yamuna Devi, we should not think that Yamuna Devi is just some small little river in North India. No. Actually, Yamuna Devi is coming from Golok Vrindavan, isn't it? She's there in Golok Vrindavan. She's coming from Golok Vrindavan. She's not coming from the heavenly planets. She's not coming from Indralok. She's not coming even from Vaikuntha. She's coming straight from Golok Vrindavan. So Shri Yamuna Devi encircles the 7 oceans. She's beyond the 7 oceans. And these 7 oceans are worshipped by the continents of the earth. In other words, she never merges into the 7 oceans as do ordinary rivers. She is thoroughly acquainted with the divine play of Shri Mukunda. Shri Mukunda Nirmitori Divya Keli Vedini. Vedini means to know, be acquainted, to have knowledge of. And Divya Keli. Divya Keli means the divine playful pastimes of who? Mukunda. Shri Mukunda. And Shri Mukunda means what? What is the meaning of Shri Mukunda? Yes, Ananya? Shri Mukunda means what? It could have
Shri
been
refers to
yes.
refers to Radharani.
Yes, Shri refers to our Shriji, Radharani. So she is expert. Yamuna Devi is expert in the Divya Keli, in the divine pastimes of Radha and Mukunda. Kanti Kandali Bhir Indra Neela Vrinda Nindini. She is thoroughly acquainted with the divine play, the pastime of Shri Mukunda, and thus she makes those pastimes arise in the hearts of those who take shelter of her. The luster, the Kanti, the luster of Yamuna Devi's water censures a host of blue sapphires. Indraneel is sapphire, blue sapphires. Their luster is nothing. The luster of many blue sapphires is nothing compared to the luster of the beautiful waters of Yamuna Devi. Kanti Kandali Bhir Indraneela Vrinda Nindini. Nindini means to mock. The luster of Yamuna's water mocks the luster of blue sapphires. So here the color of Yamuna Devi is glorified in the third line. In the second line, it is said that Yamuna Devi is very expert, very well acquainted, very learned in the Divya Keli, in the divine pastimes of Radha and Mukunda. And then Dvipa Chakravala Jushta Sapta Sindhu Bhedini. Sapta Sindhu Bhedini, the 7 oceans Bhedini. She encircles, some translations say that she cuts through them to show her supremacy, because she is not of the Bhumandal. She is coming from Golok Vrindavan. So how great she is. Her greatness is there in the first line, Yamuna Devi. She's coming all the way from Golok Vrindavan. Text 5. Mathurena mandalena charuna bhimandita premanadha vaishnavadva varadhanaya pandita urmidor vilasa padmanabha padavandini mampunatu sarvadara vinda bandhu nandini. Shri Yamuna Rani is ornamented by the enchanting land of Mathura Mandal. Mathurena mandalena charunabhi mandita. Mandita means ornamented. Mandanam means ornamentation. And Charu means very beautiful. So Yamuna Devi is ornamented by the enchanting land of Mathura Mandal. Mathura Mandal includes Vraj. Another meaning could be that Yamuna Devi is the ornament of Mathura Mandal. Mathurena Mandalena Charunabhi Mandita. And she expertly nourishes the Vaishnava path that is saturated with love. Premanadha Vaishnavadha Varadhanaya Pandita. Pandita, very expertly, she nourishes. Vardhanaya means she nourishes Premanadha Vaishnavadha, the Vaishnava path, the path of bhakti, the path of prem. Prema Pumarto Mahan. So Prema Vardhanaya. She increases the prem of the Vaishnavas. Premanadha Vaishnavadha Varadhanaya Pandita. She is very expert in doing that. Expertly nourishes the Vaishnava path that is saturated with love, the Sampradaya of Raganuga Bhakti. In other words, Yamuna Devi manifests Raganuga Bhakti in the heart of Vaishnavas who bathe in her waters. Urmidor Vilasa Padmanabha Pada Vandini. Krishna is called Padmanabha, the one with the lotus navel, with the playful arms of her waves. Urmidor Vilasa. Dor means her arms. Dor means arms. With her playful arms, which are her waves, she worships Padmanabha Shri Krishna's lotus feet. Padmanabha Pada Vandini. Vandini means she worships. How Yamuna Devi worships? Because when Krishna comes and stands on the banks of Yamuna Devi with her waves comes and touches the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna. So her waves are her hand. How we touch somebody's feet with our hands? The waves of Yamuna, Urmidor, they are the hands of Yamuna Devi. Her waves are her hands, and with her hands, she worships the lotus feet of Padmanabha, Krishna and Radharani. Urmidor Vilasa Padmanabha Pada Vandini Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Next verse number 6. So again, in this verse number 5, in the first line, it is said that Yamuna Devi is decorated by Mathura Mandal, and Yamuna Devi is the decoration of Mathura Mandal. Number 2, Prema Vaishnava Vardhanaya Pandita. She's very expert in increasing the prem, the Raganuga Bhakti of the Vaishnavas who bathe in her water. And then with her own hands, Urmidor Vilasa Padmanabha Padavandini. She worships the lotus feet of Shri Krishna Chandra. Padmanabh, Shri Krishna's lotus feet with her hands, which are her waves. Number 6. Ramyatira Rambhamana Go Kadamba Bhushita Divya Gandha Bhakadamba Pushparaji Rushita Nanda Sunu Bhakta Sangha Sangama Abhinandini Mampunatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Ramyatira. How are the banks of Yamuna Devi? Ramya. They are very beautiful, very charming banks, and they are adorned with herds of loudly mooing cows. Go means cows. And are perfumed by celestial fragrances emanating from the flowers of rows of Kadamba trees. Kadamba, Bhushita. Bhushita. She is decorated with Kadamba flowers and cows. Ramya Tira Rambhamana Go Kadamba Bhushita. So what do you see on the banks of Yamuna Devi? Beautiful fragrant Kadamba flowers and cows who are also drinking her water and enjoying and mooing. Rambhamana, they are mooing happily. Divya Gandha Bhak Kadamba Pushparaji Rushita. And she's not just adorned by Kadamba trees, Kadamba Bhushita, but the Kadamba trees have Kadamba flowers, which are very fragrant. Divya Gandha, celestial fragrance, Divya Gandha of the Kadamba Pushpa. Divya Gandha Bhak Kadamba Pushparaji Rushita. She has got beautiful fragrance of Kadamba flowers. And Nanda Sunu means Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Sunu Bhakta Sangha Sangamabhinandini. What is the heart of Yamuna Devi? What is the heart of Yamuna Devi? This is described in the 3rd line. What is it? Yamuna Devi is overjoyed. Nandini, she's overjoyed. Abhinandini, she's overjoyed by the gathering of Shri Nandalal's bhaktas. When Krishna's devotees come on the bank of Yamuna, Yamuna Devi becomes what? In their Sangha, she becomes Abhinandini. She becomes very happy. She becomes very Anandit in the association of Nandan Bhaktas, the devotees of Nandanandan Krishna. Nanda Sunu Bhakta Sangha. Sangha Mabhinandini. She becomes very happy, Abhinandini, in the association of Krishna's devotees on her bank. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. So in the 6th verse, her charming banks are described in more detail, that there are cows who are happily, herds of cows who are happily mooing, drinking her water. There are beautiful Kadamba trees. There is Kadamba Kanan on the banks of Yamuna. Yamuna Puline Kadamba Kanane. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Yamuna Puline Kadamba Kanan. So there are Kadamba trees, Kadamba forest. And what is there in that Kadamba forest? There is Divya Gandha because of Kadamba Pushpa. And then Nanda Sunu Bhakta Sangha Sangama Abhinandini. She always wants the association of Krishna's devotees, and when Krishna's devotees are there on her banks or in her waters, Yamuna Devi becomes Abhinandini. She becomes very happy, overjoyed. Verse number 7. Phulla Paksha Mallikaksha Hamsa Laksha Kujita Bhakti Vidha Deva Siddha Kinnarali Pujita Tira Gandha Vaha Gandha Janma Bandha Randhini Mampunatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Shri Yamuna Devi is filled with the sounds of hundreds of thousands of sweetly warbling Mallikaksha swans. Mallikaksha swans, whose wings are spread wide. Phulla Paksha, widely spread wings. Phulla Paksha Mallikaksha Hamsa Laksha Kujita. Yamuna Devi is filled with swans, Hansa. There is a book written by Srila Rupa Goswami, who is the author of this Ashtakam also. Anyone knows what I am thinking? What book is that? Very confidential book. Very beautiful book. Maybe someday we'll read it together. It is called Hansaduta. Hansaduta. It is the story of a swan that is sent by Radharani from Vrindavan. A Yamuna swan is sent by Radharani from Vrindavan to Mathura as a messenger of Radharani. As a messenger of Radharani. Hamsaduta. Very beautiful. Rupa Goswami has written. Very heartbreaking also. Srila Prabhupada named one of his disciples Hamsaduta Prabhu. Phulla Paksha Mallikaksha Hamsa Laksha Kujita. Laksha. Hamsa. Lakhs and lakhs. Hundreds of thousands of not one or two swans. Many of there are there with beautiful wings. And Bhakti Vidha Deva Siddha Kinnarali Pujita. Yamuna Devi is worshipped, Pujita, by the Devas, Siddhas, Kinnaras, as well as human beings, whose hearts are Bhakti Vidha, whose hearts are dedicated to Bhakti, towards Sri Hari. So, anybody who worships Pujita, anybody who worships Yamuna Devi is a devotee. Devotees are attracted to Yamuna. And devotees of all calibers, human beings, Devas, Siddhas, Kinnaras, they all Pujita, worship Yamuna Devi. Tira Gandha Vaha Gandha Janma Bandha Randhini. So we discussed that the banks of Yamuna are fragrant with all those beautiful flowers. Okay, so a little bit more detail about that. The slightest touch of the fragrant breezes from her banks, Tira Gandha Vaha. Gandha Vaha means the fragrant breezes from the Tira, from the bank of Yamuna. What happens? Eradicates the bondage of rebirth. Janma Bandha Randhini. No more birth. No more birth. Simply by experiencing the fragrance on the banks of Yamuna. The fragrance of the Kadamba. See, bhakti is really Kevala Ananda Kanda. There is only transcendental sense gratification in bhakti. Tira Gandha Vaha Gandha Janma Bandha Randhini Mam Punatu Sarvada Ravinda Bandhu Nandini. See the rhyming also. Kujita, Pujita, Randhini, Nandini, Apini, Tapini, Gandhini, Nandini, Cheshtitam, Veshtitam, Mochane, Lochane. Rupa Goswami is amazing, no? He's the Bap of the Bap of Kaviraj. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's guru is Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami's guru is Srila Rupa Goswami. Sabke baap hai, Diggaj, Kavi, Srila Rupa Goswami. Simply amazing. Hamsaduta is a very beautiful book. All the verses are in 1 meter. Very nice. Very deep. But it is not for public consumption. It should be read alone, and it is meant for personal Swanta Sukhaya. It is meant for personal relishment. Tira Gandha Vaha Gandha Janma Bandha Randhini. Just by the fragrance of the breezes on the banks of Yamuna, Janma Bandha Randhini. The bondage of rebirth is cut. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. Verse number 8. Chidvilasavari Pura Bhurbhuva Swarapini Kirtitapi Durmadoru Papa Marmatapini Ballavendra Nandananga Raga Bhanga Gandhini Mampunatu Sarvadara Vinda Bandhu Nandini. See, this is the proof that Yamuna Devi is not just belonging to the earth planet. Her currents, Chid Vilasa Vari Pura. Vari means her water. Bhur Bhuva Swar Apini. Her transcendental knowledge, the waters of Yamuna fill the 3 worlds. Bhu, Bhuva and Swa. The lower planets, the earth level planets, and the higher planets. Swa means higher planets, which with transcendental knowledge, Chidvilas. What does she flood the 3 worlds with? Yamuna Devi fills the 3 worlds with what? With Chidvilas, with transcendental knowledge, spirituality. Kirti Tapi Durmadoru Papa Marma Tapini. Just by speaking, doing kirtan, Kirti Tapi. Kirtan comes from the word Kirti. Kirti means glories. By glorifying Yamuna Devi, what happens? Papa marma tapini. The sins and the papa bij, which has a tendency to sprout like Ravan's heads, you cut them off, boom, again they come. That's the nature of bijam, papa bij. We all have papa bij in our hearts. Therefore, just by doing prayaschitta, nothing happens, because again we'll commit sins. But what happens? Bharjanam bhava bijanam, tarjanam yamadutanam. What is that? Bharjanam bhava bijanam, arjanam sukha sampadam, tarjanam yamadutanam, rama rameti garjanam. Beautiful verse. What happens when we chant the holy name? When we sing Krishna Kirtan or Rama Kirtan? Bharjanam bhava bijanam. The papa bij, which is the seed of our material existence. That is why we are in this world, because of our sins. And we perform sins because we have material desires. Material desire will lead to sinful activities. So that is called the papa bij. Bharjanam bhava bijanam. That seed is completely roasted. So if a farmer has to plant seeds, or if a gardener has to plant seeds, we have to protect those seeds. What will happen if you roast seeds and then plant them? They will never sprout. They are finished. Bharjanam bhava bijanam. Bharjanam means roasted. By doing Krishna Kirtan, Ram Kirtan, the bhava bij, seed is roasted. Finished. Bharjanam bhava bijanam, arjanam sukha sampadam. And we get bhakti sukh. Tarjanam yamadutanam. Fear is struck in the hearts of the yamdutas. Rama rameti garjanam. Bharjanam bhava bijanam, arjanam sukha sampadam, tarjanam yamadutanam, rama rameti garjanam. Same here. Kirti tapi durmadoru papa narma tapini. Tapini. Just by speaking the glories, chanting the glories of Yamuna Devi, the deeply rooted sins are burnt to ashes. Papa marma, deeply rooted in the heart. Deeply rooted sinful desires are tapini. They are burnt off. Kirti tapi. Just by speaking the kirti of Yamuna Devi, the glories of Yamuna Devi. Ballavendra is Nanda Maharaj, the king of all the animals. And Nanda, Ballavendra Nanda means the son of Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Nandan. Ballavendra Nandan is Nanda Nandan Krishna. Ballavendra Nandana Angaraga Bhanga Gandhini. This is very beautiful. Nanda Nandan or Ballavendra Nandan Nandanangaraga. The Yamuna Devi is supremely fragrant with the different cosmetics applied to the body of Nandanandan Krishna. Krishna's body is decorated with sandalwood paste, kumkum, and other cosmetics which are very fragrant. And when Krishna takes bath in Yamuna, all these fragrant substances from Krishna's body, plus the fragrance of Krishna's own body, Krishna's own gandha, is mixed with the water of Yamuna. Therefore, Yamuna water is very, very fragrant. So she is supremely fragrant due to the ingredients such as sandalwood paste and kumkum coming from the body of Ballavendra Nandana. That is Nanda Nandana Krishna. Ballavendra Nandananga Raga Bhanga Gandhini. Gandhini. Fragrant, very fragrant. Gandha. Mam Punatu Sarvadara Vindabandhu Nandini. So again in the first line, it is said that Yamuna Devi is filling the three worlds, Bhur Bhuvaswar, with Chidvilas, with spiritual bliss, spiritual knowledge. Kirtitapi Durmadoru Papa Marma Tapini. Chanting the glories of Yamuna Devi, glorifying Jai Yamuna Devi. In our Prem Dhwani prayer we say Yamuna Devi ki Jai, Ganga Devi ki Jai. By just doing Jai Jaikar of Yamuna Devi, Papa Marma Tapini. All our sins are destroyed. Ballavendra Nandananga Raga Bhanga Gandhini. And Yamuna Devi water, you take the water of Yamuna, we should know that this water is mixed with Radha and Krishna's Chandan. Radha and Krishna's perfumed oils, Radha and Krishna's kumkum. And Ayendra Prabhu had a red Shaligram Shila. By mercy of Hari Guru Vaishnavas, we also have red Shaligram Shila. And Shripad Ayendra Prabhu was told that this red Shaligram Shila is Ugra Narsimha. You should not worship them. He had 108 red Shaligram Shilas. So some devotees told him that you should not keep them in one room like that. 108 Ugra Narsimha Shaligram Shilas. There will be fire in your room if you do that. And Shripad Ayendra Prabhu said, yes, that's what I want. I want the fire of bhakti. Let there be fire. But for fear of some fire, I will never give up my service to Krishna. And he said, anyway, I see these red Shaligram Shilas as Krishna covered with the kumkum of Radharani. Kumkumatma kanchanabja garvahari gaurabha pitananchitabja gandha kirti nindi santana. So kumkumatma kanchanabja. I don't consider these red Shaligram Shilas as Ugra Narsimha, but I consider them as Radha Vallabh, Krishna, who is covered by the kumkum of Radharani. So sweet, such a sweet bhav. So here we should know that the water of Yamuna is mixed with the kumkum, with the chandan of Radha and Krishna. Ballavendra Nandananga Raga Bhanga Gandhini. And therefore Gandhini, Yamuna Devi is very fragrant. Okay. Last verse, Falashruti, 9th verse. Tushta buddhir ashtakena nirmalor mircheshtitam tvamanena bhanuputri sarva deva veshtitam yahastaviti vardhayasva sarva papamochane bhakti puramasya devi pundari kalochane. O Surya Putri, Bhanuputri. Bhanuputri means the daughter of the sun god. O Devi, O Yamuna, whose powerful waves are purifying and who is surrounded by all the demigods. Sarva Deva Veshtitam. For those persons of satisfied intelligence, Tushta Buddhir, not whose intelligence are filled with Trishna. Ye chahiye, wo chahiye, this material desire, that, no. Prashantatma, satisfied, those who are satisfied. Shanta Bhaktas, peaceful devotees. Tushta Buddhi, whose intelligence satisfied. And they recite this Yamuna Ashtakam, Tushta Buddhir Ashtakena. They recite this Ashtakam. Rupa Goswami is praying for all of us. Please increase their current of bhakti. Please increase their current of bhakti. Vardhayasva. Increase their bhakti for Pundarika Lochane. Pundarika means lotus. Lochane means eyes. For Krishna, who has lotus eyes. Please increase their bhakti. Vardhanasva. Vardhayasva. Rupa Goswami is praying on behalf of us that, oh, Yamuna Devi, anyone who chants this Yamuna Ashtakam of yours, please Vardhayasva, please increase their bhakti towards Pundarika Lochane, towards Krishna, who liberates people from all their sins. Krishna is Sarva Papa Mochane. He liberates us from all our sins. This is my supplication at your lotus feet. Bhakti Puram Vardhayasva. Increase their bhakti. Anybody who chants this Yamuna Devi, increase their bhakti for Pundarika Lochane, and may all their sins be destroyed by Krishna. Sarva Papa Mochane. This is my humble Tvamanena Bhanuputri. Oh Bhanuputri, this is my humble request to you. Supplication at your feet. Please increase the bhakti of anybody who reads this Ashtakam, bhakti for Krishna, and may they be freed from all their sins. What a beautiful Falashruti, no? So, with this understanding, O Surya Putri, O Bhanuputri, O Devi, O Yamuna, whose powerful waves are purifying and who is surrounded by all the demigods, for those persons of satisfied intelligence who recite this prayer, please increase their current of bhakti for the lotus-eyed Shri Krishna, who liberates people from all their sins. This is my supplication at your lotus feet. So with this understanding now, let us sing the whole Yamunashtakam together. See Shri Yamunashtakam by Srila Rupa Goswami. भ्रातुरन्तकस्य पत्तने भिपत्तिहारिणि प्रेक्षयाति पापिनोऽपि पाप सिन्धुतारिणि नीरमाधुरीभिरप्यशेष चित्तबन्धिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि हारिवारि धारयाभिमण्डितोरुखाण्डव पुण्डरीकमण्डलोद्यदण्डजालिताण्डव स्नानकामपामरोग्रपापसम्पदन्धिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि शिखराभिमृष्टजन्तु दुर्विपाकमर्दिनि नन्दनन्दनान्तरङ्ग भक्तिपूरवर्धिनि तीरसङ्गमाभिलाषि मङ्गलानुबन्धिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि द्वीपचक्रवालजुष्ट सप्त सिन्धुभेदिनि श्रीमुकुन्द निर्मितोरु दिव्यकेलिवेदिनि कान्तिकन्दलीभिरिन्द्रनीलवृन्दनिन्दिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि माथुरेण मण्डलेन चारुणाभिमण्डिता प्रेमनद्ध वैष्णवाध्ववरधनाय पण्डिता ऊर्मिदोर्विलास पद्मनाभ पादवन्दिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि रम्यतीररम्भमाण गोकदम्ब भूषिता दिव्यगन्ध भाक्कदम्ब पुष्पराजिरूषिता नन्दसूनु भक्त संग संगमाभिनन्दिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि फुल्ल पक्ष मल्लिकाक्ष हंस लक्ष कूजिता भक्ति विद्ध देव सिद्ध किन्नरालि पूजिता तीरगन्धवाह गन्ध जन्म बन्धरन्दिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि चिद्विलासवारिपूर भूर्भुवस्वरापिनि कीर्तितापि दुर्मदोरुपापमर्मतापिनि बल्लवेन्द्र नन्दनांगराग भंग गन्धिनि मां पुनातु सर्वदारविन्द बन्धुनन्दिनि तुष्ट बुद्धिरष्टकेन निर्मलोर्मि चेष्टितां त्वामनेन भानुपुत्री सर्वदेव वेष्टितां यहस्तविति वर्धयस्व सर्वपापमोचने भक्तिपूरमस्य देवी पुण्डरीकलोचने। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। We are in chapter 7, right? Which, hold on, let me see. Which verse do we start from? Can someone remind me, please? 7:5:24. Okay, thank you. So 5th chapter, not 7th chapter. 7:5. We are still reading the purport. Yes, so let's read the Sanskrit verse and then we'll go to the purport. Shri Prahalada Uvacha. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atma Nivedanam Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktischennava Lakshana Kriyeta Bhagavat Adha Tanmanye Dhitamuttamam. So, where do we start? We did Shravanam, we did Kirtanam. I think Archanam, Pada Sevanam, we did Archanam, we did, yes. Archana Vidhi, divisions. Offenses, yes, we discussed the offenses. Now we start from in Varaha Puran, correct? In Varaha Puran. So Srila Prabhupada is writing a beautiful purport explaining Navavidha Bhakti, the 9 processes of devotional service. In the Varaha Puran, the following offenses are mentioned. 1. to eat in the house of a rich man. यद्यपि प्रताप रुद्र सर्व गुणवान ताहार मलिना कैल एक राजा नाम. Number 2, to enter the deity's room in the dark. So the room may be dark because the deities are taking rest. So either we wake them up properly, turn the lights on, but we should not enter the deity room in the dark because we may just stumble upon the deities, or we may trip over something. So don't enter because Krishna is resting. Don't enter the room when Krishna is resting. Properly, vidhivat, wake up Radha and Krishna and then enter. And eating in the house of a rich man, why? Anybody? Why we should not eat in the house of a rich man? We should not eat because we don't know how that person is earning money. That's number 1. Number 2, the food may be very opulent and it is not very conducive for bhakti to eat opulent food. Jivhara lalasai iti utidhai shishnodhara parayana Krishna nahi paye. Jivhara lalasai iti utidhai. If for the sake of satisfying the tongue to eat tasty foods, iti utidhai, we run here and there, Shishnodara Parayana, we will become Shishnodar Parayan. We will become completely dedicated to our belly, filling the belly and satisfying the genitals, because sexual desires increase when we eat opulent food. This is a known fact. We eat opulent food, then what happens is we develop a tendency of enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. I am the enjoyer. Then just satisfying the tongue and belly is not enough. We want to satisfy the genitals also. Therefore, if one wants to control, we have to control all 3 in a straight line. Srila Rupa Goswami explains. Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jivha vegam, udar upastha vegam. Jivha means tongue, udar means stomach, belly, and upastha means genitals. They are all in one line and they are connected. So we saw how that Govinda Kund Babaji, by eating, so there was some anna dosh in that prasad, anna dosh, and therefore he had to experience some lusty thoughts. Jivhara lalasai iti utidhai shishnodara parayana Krishna nahi paye. Krishna nahi paye. We will not get Krishna. That is the risk of eating opulent food. 7-course meal. So devotee is simple. What did Mahaprabhu explain in Chaitanya Charitamrita to Srila Raghunath Das Goswami? Anybody knows? Raise your hand. What are the instructions of Mahaprabhu to all Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Yes, Sandeep Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna Guruji. Guruji, is it Balana Khaibo or Balana Pari?
Yes. Gramya kathana shunibe, gramya vartana kohibe, bhalana khaibe ara, bhalana paribe. 4 things we have to do. Gramya kathana kohibe. Don't gossip. Don't do village talk. इसने क्या किया, उसने क्या किया, वो तो ऐसा है, वो तो वैसा है. किधर भजन के लिए टाइम नहीं है अपने पास, राउंड्स नहीं हो रहा इधर. So we should not do mundane talk. No need to talk, discuss sports, politics, news, this, that. Waste of time, utter waste of time. Even temple politics. No. Gramya kathana kohibe, gramya varthana shunibe. And don't listen also. Oh, I am not speaking, I am just relishing, just enjoying. हाथ में माला है, तुम लोग बोलो, करो gossip. आनंदाम्बुधि वर्धनम, बहुत मजा आ रहा है. करो, सुनाओ gossip, मेरे को मजा आ रहा है. नहीं, that is also not good. Hearing also is not good. We have to not speak and we should not hear also. Gramya kathana kohibe, gramya vartana shunibe, bhalana khaibe ara. Don't eat opulent food. Bhalana khaibe ara, and bhalana paribe. Bhalana paribe. Don't wear opulent clothes. Is Ladini Gopi Kamatari there? Yes. Ladini Gopi Kamatari, this is addressing your question. Mahaprabhu has instructed. So it doesn't matter who says what. We are followers of Mahaprabhu. This is Mahaprabhu's standard. We should dress elegantly, simple. Gopi dress, sari, dhoti, kurta, chadar, whatever. It should be clean. It should be simple, elegant, well-fitting. Doesn't have to be torn. Simple clothes made of cotton or khadi, or on occasions, Matajis can even wear silk. I don't know what the saris are made up of, but nice. But simple and elegant, not gaudy and too much time decorating one's body. That is not good. That is not the way of Mahaprabhu. Better to wear simple clothes. Simple clothes. Not very opulent dressing. Because we don't want to attract attention to oneself. We want to become attracted to Radha and Krishna. So that Ishwar Bhav increases, enjoying tendency increases when we dress opulently. So Mahaprabhu has said, Gramya katha na kohibe, Gramya varta na shunibe, Bhala na khaibe ara, Bhala na paribe. Don't eat opulent food and Bhala na paribe. Don't wear very good clothes. Simple clothes. Or sometimes devotees gift opulent clothes. That is my problem. Devotees gift opulent, what to do? So sometimes you have to wear. They may be colorful and little, what to do now? Just with a spirit, with detachment, wear. Or you can give them to others also. But sometimes the devotee may feel bad if we don't wear the clothes that they have given. So we wear, but with a spirit of detachment. But we don't go out buying and we don't spend too much time decorating oneself. Whatever is simple, that fits our Vaishnava attire codes, we wear it. Bagalbandi or kurta or chadar on the top, niche dhoti. We should not wear pant and jeans and come to the temple. It is not good. And for Mataji's gopi dress or sari, like that. So it should be well-fitting. It should be clean, washed, ironed, but doesn't have to be very colorful and very opulent and very jagmak and designer wear. That is the meaning of don't dress opulently. Simple. Just keep it simple. And there are so many exemplary devotees. See, for example, Srila Vaisheshika Maharaj. He's a Grihastha. We are all Grihasthas. Srila Vaisheshika Maharaj is a Grihastha. Look at his clothes. Same off-white kurta, off-white dhoti, most of the times. Same. So we can also have like that few. And so we don't have to think, does this match, does that match? Just simple. It's always clean, always washed, always ironed. It's not torn anywhere. It is well-fitting. That is the meaning of Vaishnava dress, Vaishnava attire. I hope this is okay. So that was number 2. Number 1 was eating in the house of a rich man. Number 2, enter the deity's room in the dark. Number 3, these are all offenses, seva aparad, offenses against the deity. To worship the deity without following the regulative principles. Yes, this is very important. One has no adhikar to touch the deity if we are not following the 4 regulative principles. We are doing deity worship on behalf of who? On behalf of Gurudev. Shri Vigraha Aradhana Nityanana Shringara Tan Mandina Marjanadav Yuktasya Bhaktam's Chaniyunjatopi Vande Guru Charan. Yuktasya Bhakta. Guru Maharaj is engaging us on his behalf. Because Guru Maharaj is not physically present in Atlanta, Georgia, I am worshipping the Shaligram Shila. Actually, Gurudev has the qualification. He has the adhikar to do. I don't have. But Prabhura Agya hai. On the order of my Guru Maharaj, I am worshipping Radha Sham Sundar or Nitai Shachinandan, like that, whoever our deities are. We are doing it on behalf of Guru. Therefore, whenever we do Aarti, we do Puja, we keep a photo of our spiritual master on the altar in every ISKCON temple, because we are doing it on their behalf. Yuktasya bhaktam stani unjatopi. भक्तों को उन्होंने ठाकुर जी के सेवा में लगाया है. गुरु महाराज हमें सेवा का अधिकार दे रहे हैं on their behalf. तो गुरु महाराज नहीं है, इसलिए I am doing. ठीक है. So if we are doing it on behalf of Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada, what is the expectation of Gurudev and what is the expectation of Srila Prabhupada from all of us? That we follow the 4 regulative principles. On that premise, they have given us Diksha. On that guarantee, हमने शपथ ली है, व्रत लिया है कि हम 4 नियमों का पालन करेंगे, कम से कम 16 माला का जाप करेंगे और दैन्य भाव से रहकर इस्कॉन में सेवा करेंगे। हमने ये शपथ ली है, इसीलिए गुरु महाराज ने हमें मंत्र दिया है और हमें मंत्र दीक्षा मिली है, इसीलिए हमें ठाकुर जी की सेवा करने का अधिकार मिला है। तो इफ वी आर नॉट फॉलोइंग द रेगुलेटिव प्रिंसिपल्स, डू वी हैव द अधिकार टू टच द डीटी? एब्सोल्युटली नो, एब्सोल्युटली नो, because in that case we are guru tyagis. We have given up the service of our Gurudev. We have given up our word to our Gurudev. So Guru Tyagi ko kaise Bhagwan will allow? So to worship the deity without following the regulative principles, that's an offense according to Varaha Puran. Number 4, to enter the temple without vibrating any sound. Isliye we should knock or ring a bell to declare our arrival, to inform the Lord before entering. Just like it's before I enter any patient room in the hospital, I may have 20 patients to see in 20 rooms, but every time I have to knock. Knock, knock, Dr. Deshmukh here, and then we enter. We have to warn, because that is a culture of respect. You give warning before you enter somebody's house. You ring the doorbell, isn't it? So see how these principles are helping us see Krishna as a person. Pratima nahi tumi sakshat Vrajendra Nandan. To enter the temple without vibrating any sound is an offense. To collect food that has been seen by a dog. Therefore, when we take bhoga to Krishna, we keep it covered, because it is considered inauspicious. Inauspicious. To break silence while offering worship to the deity. So when we are worshipping the deity, we have to focus on that. We should not talk. Ding, 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 we are offering. Arey, gas ban karo, gas ban karo. Aisa nahi. When you are doing offering, just offer. Focus what you are doing. So it is an offense to break silence while offering worship to the deity. To go to the toilet during the time of worshipping the deity. This is very important. Even to pass gas while doing deity worship is an offense. So we have to be careful. That's why devotees don't eat here and there. Because if we eat too much, then we may have to answer nature's call. We drink too much water, we may have to use the bathroom in the middle of doing puja. Then we are contaminated. Again, we have to take bath. And if we eat the wrong type of food that doesn't agree with our digestive system, then we'll be passing gas all the time. Therefore, devotee lifestyle means a regulated lifestyle. This is the meaning of yukta ahar. Yukta ahar prayasasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasya, yukta swapnavadasya yoga bhavati dukkhaha. So this is the meaning of regulation. Therefore, we see so many traveling preachers, they have their dietary restrictions sometimes. I don't eat tomato, I don't eat eggplant, like that, because certain foods may not agree with their system. So we should respect that. Of course, we should not artificially make a very nice opulent list that I want this, I want that. Breakfast at this time, lunch at this time, evening snacks at this time, dinner at this time. That is bhoga vritti, bhog pravritti. That is not good. Simple. But yeah, we should know what our body can tolerate, can handle, eat that much only. That is good. Many times I've seen when I eat dinner, I cannot wake up in the morning, and at night I get acidity. And I never had that problem until I hit the age of 40. Everything started after that. Before that, I could eat heavy meal at night and nothing would happen. I would sleep peacefully. But not anymore. If I eat dinner, I cannot wake up in the morning and I cannot sleep well at night. I get acidity. I never had acidity problem all my life. But this is Krishna's mercy, because Krishna is helping me regulate my diet, my eating habits. Anyway, sadhakas are not supposed to eat after 8 o'clock. So it's good that we just eat 2 meals in a day. Mahaprabhu also used to eat 2 meals in a day. So like that. So it's Krishna's mercy. To go to the toilet during the time of worshipping the deity. I know I was speaking to a pujari, and he was telling me that how much water I drink, how much I eat. It's all regulated so that when I'm on the altar, the urges of nature don't bother me. See, this is such a nice bhav. So that means our body is a yantra for the service of Sri Hari, isn't it? Body is a yantra, instrument. Yantra rudani maya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, this is a yantra made by Maya but we are offering it in the service of Yoga Maya, Radharani. To offer incense without offering flowers. So we should also offer fragrant flowers. That is the minimum standard. Panchopasana means there is dhoop, deep, pushpa, jal, and phala. At least these 5 items should be offered. Incense, ghee lamp, flowers, fruit, and water. This is called Panchopasana. This is the minimum standard of detail. Actually, there is Shodash Upasana. 16 items have to be offered. 16 articles like that. Chandan and other things have also to be offered. Fan. But at least these 5 items is basic. Water, fruit, flower, dhoop and deep, ghee lamp, and incense. So to offer incense without flowers, it is less than the standard of Panchopasana. So it is an offense. To worship the deity with forbidden flowers. Flowers that have no fragrance, the Kali Yuga flowers, they are not to be used in the service of Krishna. We should use only fragrant flowers. Fragrant flowers like mogra, lilies, jasmine. So that. Now, if we live in a place where these fragrances are not available, then we can use some natural fragrance oil and put them on the flower that we are offering to make it fragrant. Rose has nice fragrance. Carnations have fragrance, certain types. So we should choose flowers that have fragrance and offer only fragrant flowers to Krishna. It's an offense to offer flowers that don't have fragrance. That is mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu also, among the Seva Aparads, 32 Seva Aparads. So offering deities, forbidden flower. We should not offer forbidden flowers. To begin worship without having washed one's teeth. Yes, we must brush our teeth nicely, floss, use mouthwash, use a tongue cleaner. Even Radharani uses a tongue cleaner. So these things are important. Rupa Goswami explains in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu about oral hygiene. It's very, very important. At least 2-3 times a day we should brush before going to bed, in the morning, and preferably once in the midday also, after eating lunch. So like that, at least 2 times. We must brush. Once a day we should floss, and we can also use mouthwash, and tongue cleaner also has to be used, a metal tongue cleaner. And we should rinse our mouth with water, and we should keep sipping water, plain water, to keep our mouth clean. Otherwise there is growth of bacteria, there is acidity built up. Because teeth are also, mouth is also very important, right? For seva. We eat Krishna Prasad with our mouth, honor Krishna Prasad with us. So how can we put Krishna Prasad in a contaminated mouth? Therefore it is required that we, in the Vedic culture, we have to take bath before eating. You see any Shastra, Mahaprabhu, he would take Ganga Snan before having his lunch. In his Ashtakali Lila also, before breakfast, there is Ganga Snan, there is Puja, and then breakfast. Before lunch, there is Ganga Snan, then he comes, does Gayatri, and then eats Krishna Prasad. That is a Paddhati. Even Durvas Muni, when Yudhishthir Maharaj ke yahan pe gaye the prasad paane ke liye, to pehle bole hum ja ke aayenge, naha ke aayenge. When he met Ambarish Maharaj also, first let me take Yamuna Snan. वैदिक कल्चर में भगवान का प्रसाद ग्रहण करने से पहले स्नान करना आवश्यक है. सोचिए, बिकॉज वी आर ऑनरिंग कृष्ण प्रसाद. कृष्ण प्रसाद को कैसे पाए? अपवित्र अवस्था में. पहले शरीर को पवित्र करना है स्नान करके, और मंत्र उच्चारण करके, आचमन करके हृदय को पवित्र करना है, और फिर भगवत प्रसाद ग्रहण करना है. दैट इज द स्टैंडर्ड. सो वॉशिंग टीथ, टेकिंग बाथ, वेयरिंग वॉश्ड क्लीन क्लोथ्स, this is important. So it's an offense to begin worship without washing one's teeth. Then the next one is self-evidently, because that contaminates us. Okay, so we should always take a bath. Next is to touch a lamp, dead body, or anybody who is not pure at that time, while doing deity worship, or to put red or bluish clothing, unwashed clothing, the clothing of others, or soiled clothing. We should not wear other people's clothes. Many times I've seen nowadays these teenagers, they go for sleepovers, and then unplanned sleepover, and then they just wear their buddy's clothes and come back home. It's not good. They even wash shoes in the washing machine. I was aghast. Yesterday, somebody dropped something on Gopal's shoes in the temple. Gopal said, I have to go and wash my shoes. I said, yeah, outside the house there is a hose you can wash. He said, no, Dad, I'll wash them in the washing machine. Everybody washes the shoes in the washing. I said, you dare not put your shoes in the washing machine. Don't do that. You don't do that. That is such a moochie thing to do. Please, you wash your shoes outside the house. Your shoes don't come inside the house. It's shocking what people do nowadays. Culture shock. I got a culture shock yesterday on Radhashtami. Washing shoes in the washing machine. Oh my God. Hare Krishna. Those shoes have gone in the toilet, touched the toilet floor. Horrible. I don't know how people can even do this. He said, but shoes have to be washed in a washing machine. I said, no, I will show you how to wash shoes with a hose. Wash them outside the house, not inside the house. Okay, so then, unwashed clothing, the clothing of others, and soiled clothing. Yeah, so clothes doesn't have to be very opulent. Clothes have to be simple, like I said. They should be just washed. They should not be torn, and they should be well-fitting and made of natural ingredients like cotton, khadi. Other offenses are to worship the deity after seeing a dead body. इसलिए स्मशान घाट से आते हैं तो पहले we should take a snan, take a bath. It is offensive to worship the deity after seeing a dead body and after passing air before the deity. We should not pass air. In fact, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had such a high standard that even if he would pass air, he would take a bath. But if the diet is controlled, we don't pass air really that much. So these are subtle things just for self-introspection. And we have to make swaniyam. We have to make rules for oneself and follow it, so that our body gives us maximum support in the service of Krishna. This body is a servant, my dear friends. Body is a servant. Because we are servant. So our body is also servant. And this is a servant who is going to give a termination notice, is going to quit our service. This body will quit our service many times without even giving a notice. We have 15-day notice, something. But in some jobs, there is no need of giving notice. You can just quit. This body is like that. This body is that type of employee, that type of servant who is going to quit the employment without any notice. The body is employed in Krishna's service, but the body is going to quit serving Krishna one day. It's a material body. So what should a wise employer do? अगर पता है ये नौकर छोड़ के जाने वाला है, तो maximum काम करा लो. जब तक चल रहा है तब तक maximum काम करा लो उससे. Similarly with this body, we have to use maximum this body in Krishna's service. His body से maximum Krishna सेवा करानी है. अब करानी है तो we have to maintain the body nicely ना. Otherwise बंद पड़ जाएगी body जल्दी. फिर बैक पेन शुरू होता है, ये शुरू होता है, वो शुरू होता है. So we have to take that's why yuktahar prayasasya. That is important. We have to be balanced in life so that the body will give us maximum output, maximum efficiency vehicle. Then, soiled clothes, pass air before the deity, show anger before the deity. We should not do that, because showing anger also is a Ishwar bhav. I am your controller. I am authority over you. But we are in front of the supreme authority. So we should not get angry in front of the deity. To worship the deity just after returning from a crematorium, because we see dead bodies there. After eating, one should not worship the deity until he has digested his food. Nor should one touch the deity. So ऐसा नहीं कि अभी सवेरे पूजा करनी, यार breakfast कर लेता हूँ. Breakfast करता हूँ, फिर नहा के पूजा करता हूँ. That is not good, because there is food, undigested food in the stomach. So therefore we should worship the deity. And whoever has not eaten should worship the deity. Then you can eat afterwards. So it is an offense to, after eating, one should not worship the deity until one has digested his food. Nor should one touch the deity or engage in any deity worship after eating safflower oil or hing. These are also offenses. To touch the deity after eating safflower oil. I don't know what safflower oil is. And hing. Hing so we use as a substitute for onion garlic. It adds flavor. Smell aati hai. Maybe that's why. Anyway, so basically the idea is after eating food, we should let the food digest, take a bath, and then do puja. तो देखिए श्री विग्रह आराधना में, भगवान की पूजा में, सेवा में कितने सारे नियम हैं. कितने सारे नियम हैं. But नाम नामकारी बहुधा निज सर्वशक्ति तत्रार्पित नियमित स्मरणे न काल एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान ममापि दुर्दैव मिदृशम यह जनिना अनुराग। लेकिन भगवान के नाम में कोई नियम नहीं है, लेकिन दुर्दैव क्या है, हमारा कोई अनुराग ही नहीं है भगवान के नाम के प्रति। इसीलिए लेट अस चैंट वेरी नाइसली, वेरी सिंसियरली। सो वेरी क्विकली विल रीड जैव धर्म। लेट मी सी if I'm able to open it up. From tomorrow I'll just read from the book, my dear friend, because when I spend too much time in front of the screen I get headache. So I will just read from my book from tomorrow. Okay. So now Vrajnath is asking Shri Raghunath Das Babaji Mahashaya, how many different types of jivas are liberated from Maya? How many different types of jivas are liberated from Maya? That is the title of this chapter also, Jivas Free from Maya. Babaji Mahashaya replies, two kinds of jivas are free from Maya's control, Nitya Mukta and Baddha Mukta. Now we are talking about jivas that are free from Maya. Are you understanding? So there are Nitya Mukta and Nitya Siddha jivas, but we are not talking about Nitya Baddha jivas. We are talking about liberated souls. So there are two types of liberated souls. Two types of jivas are free from Maya's control. Nitya Mukta, the jivas who were never under Maya's control, and the Baddha Mukta, those who were once under Maya's control but are now free from Maya. So now tell me, who are we? Are we Nitya Mukta or are we Baddha Mukta? Yes, Sharmishta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanam Pranam. Prabhuji, we are Nitya Baddha.
Ah, very good, very good, very good. Thank you for not saying that we are Baddha Mukta. Because we are not Mukta yet. We saw, to become Mukta, we have to be on the platform of Krishna Prem. Previously we saw. So very good, very nice. It was a trick question, Sharmishta Mataji. I'm very happy. You got A+. Very good. So we are neither Nitya Mukta, nor are we yet. Maybe some of you are. I am not, definitely not. Baddha Mukta. We are not Baddha Mukta. Right now, Nitya Baddha. We are Baddha soul. We are conditioned souls. So, question is, how many types of jivas are liberated from Maya? Answer is, Babaji Maharaj says, there are two types of jivas that are free from Maya's control. Nitya Mukta, jivas who were never under Maya's control, and Baddha Mukta, jivas who were once under Maya's control but are now free. Now let's focus on Nitya Mukta. Nitya Mukta jivas. The Nitya Mukta jivas, eternally liberated souls, the Nitya Mukta jivas are divided again into two categories. Aishwarya Gata, those who are attracted by Bhagwan's feature of opulence and majesty, and Madhurya Gata, those who are attracted by Krishna's feature of sweetness. Aishwarya Gata Nitya Mukta jivas and Madhurya Gata Nitya Mukta jivas. Those jivas who are attracted by Krishna's Aishwarya, Aishwarya Gat Nitya Muktas, are personal associates of Sri Narayan, who is Vaikuntanath. They are particles of spiritual effulgence emanating from Sri Mula Sankarshana, who resides in Vaikuntha. Mula Sankarshan is an expansion of Lord Baladev. Those who are attracted by Bhagwan's Madhurya, sweetness of Bhagwan, those who are Madhurya Gat Nitya Muktas, are personal associates of Sri Krishna, who is Vrajanath. They are particles of spiritual effulgence manifesting from Sri Baladev, who resides in Golok Vrindavan. Hari Bol. Adi Guru. That's why Baladev is Adi Guru. So there are two types of Nitya Mukta jivas, my dear friends. Jivas from Golok Vrindavan, who directly emanate from Baladev. They are the Vibhinnamsha of Balramji. And they are Madhurya Gat. They are only attracted to Radha and Krishna. And there are the Aishwarya Gat Nitya Mukta jivas, who manifest from Mula Sankarshana, and they are attracted to the different Lakshmi Narayan forms, different Lakshmi Narayan Murtis. You see? And now my question is, who do the Nitya Baddha jivas come from? Raise your hand. Who do the Nitya Baddha jivas? So, Madhurya Gat Nitya Muktas come from Balramji in Golok Vrindavan. The Aishwarya Gat Nitya Mukta Jivas come from Mool Sankarshana. Who do the Nitya Baddha Jivas come from? Who have we come from? Yes, Ananya?
Mahavishnu.
Yes, Karanadakshay Vishnu, from the glance of Mahavishnu. So, these are the categorizations. Those jivas who are, I'm reading again, please be patient, please listen. Those jivas who are attracted by Krishna's Aishwarya are personal associates of Sri Lakshmi Narayan, the master of Vaikuntha. They are particles of spiritual effulgence. Particles of spiritual effulgence means Vibhinnamsha, emanating from Sri Moola Sankarshana, who resides in Vaikuntha. Those who are attracted by Bhagwan Krishna's Madhuryata are personal associates of Sri Krishna, the master of Golok Vrindavan. Golok Vrindavan. They are particles of spiritual effulgence manifesting from Sri Balaram, Sri Baladev, who resides in Golok Vrindavan, Adi Guru. There are three kinds of Baddha Mukta Jivas. So this was the Nitya Muktas. Now let us look at the Baddha Muktas. Baddha Muktas means Jivas who were Baddha, but because of Sadhu Sangha, they have become liberated now. They have got Prema Bhakti. There are three kinds of Baddha Mukta Jivas. Aishwarya Gat, those who are attracted to Bhagwan's features of opulence and majesty, which means the followers of Sripad Ramanujacharya, for example. Followers of Sripad Ramanujacharya, not Sripad Ramanujacharya. Sripad Ramanujacharya is Nitya Siddha. Followers. Even followers of Sripad Madhvacharya. Then, number two, there is Madhurya Gat, those who are attracted to the Bhagwan's feature of sweetness. That means followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Followers of Sripad Vallabhacharya. Followers of Sri Vishnu Swami. Those who are seekers of either, worshippers of either Laddu Gopal, because they are considering Bhagwan to be their child, or the Kumar Sampradaya, they are worshippers of the Kanta Bhav, Gopi Bhav, followers of Sripad Nimbarkacharya. So Sripad Nimbarkacharya, Sripad Vishnu Swami, which is same as Sripad Vallabhacharya, they are all Madhurya Gat. They are followers. They are Madhurya Gat, Baddha Mukta Jivas. They are attracted to Bhagwan's sweetness. And of course, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the Radha Vallabhis. We are all Madhurya Gat. We are worshipping Krishna in Vrindavan mood. Number three, Brahma Jyoti Gat. Those who are attracted to Bhagwan's impersonal effulgence. These are the Brahmavadis. They are not Mayavadis. These are Brahmavadis. They genuinely want to merge in Krishna. They want the Sayujya Mukti. They want to merge in Krishna's Brahma Jyoti. They are Brahma Jyoti Gat. Those who are attracted to Bhagwan's impersonal feature. Those who are attracted to his opulence during their period of regulated service become eternal associates of Sri Narayan. Therefore, my dear friends, it is very important that we worship Radha and Krishna under the guidance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our Goswamis. How the Goswamis worshipped. It is a combination of Narad Pancharatra. The Pancharatri ki vidhi is there, but also the Bhagavad Marg is also there. And as one makes advancement, one goes on the platform of Raganuga Bhakti. Rag Marg, that's what Mahaprabhu came to give. That is the aim. Vaidhi Bhakti is not the end, it is the means. It is not the end. Vaidhi Bhakti is the means to attain Raganuga Bhakti. But we want to do Raganuga Bhakti, because if we only do Vaidhi Bhakti, we will end up in Vaikuntha, where our Guru Varga are not there. And Radharani also is not there. So better be careful. Therefore, it is important to read the Goswami literature. Rupa Raghunatha Pade Hoibe Akuti Tabe Ame Bhuja Bo se Yugala Piriti. Then we'll understand what is Yugala Priti, what is Radha Krishna Seva. Okay. Those who are attracted to his opulence, Aishwarya, during their period of regulated service, means when they are practicing Vaidhi Bhakti, means our stage. If you are attracted to opulence, कुछ भक्तों को होता है एकदम सोने के प्लेट में ऑफर करेंगे, या फिर ऐसा एकदम उनका रहता है ऑपुलेंस. डोंट ऑफर ओबेसेंसेस टू कृष्णा व्हेन दर्शन इज क्लोज्ड. भगवान जी सो रहे हैं. राधा गोविंद महाराज आज राधा गोविंद महाराज से सोते नहीं है, रासलीला करते हैं भगवान रात को. राधा और लक्ष्मी नारायण सोते होंगे, हमारे राधा कृष्ण रासलीला करते हैं. But anyway, small things. So they will end up in Vaikuntha, the master of spiritual sky, and they achieve Salokya Mukti. They live on the same planet as Vishnu and Lakshmi Devi. Salokya Mukti. Jivas who are attracted to Shri Krishna's sweetness, during their period of sadhana, attain direct service to him when they are liberated in the eternal abodes of Vrindavan and other similar abodes. My dear friends, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, each and every word carries deep meaning. Please pay attention. Those who are attracted to Krishna's sweetness during their sadhana bhakti stage, Vaidhi bhakti stage, attain direct service to Krishna when they are liberated in the eternal abodes of Vrindavan and other similar abodes. What is the meaning of this? Anybody knows? Please raise your hand. Yes, Ananya?
Prabhuji, there is Dwarka and there is Mathura and Vrindavan.
That is there. There is Navadvip also. There is Puri also. But more specifically, it is not that in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna is just in Kishore Avastha. There are Golok Vrindavan planets where Krishna is eternally a child also, where he does Makhan Chor Leela in the spiritual world. So there is not just one Golok Vrindavan planet. There are many Golok Vrindavan planets with Krishna of different age groups. And there are Krishnas of different Nikunjas also. The Leelas are also different. In some Nikunjas, there is just Swakya Leela. That is the object of meditation of certain sampradayas, where there is Swakya Leela. Radha and Krishna ka roj vivaha hota hai. Every day Radha, in their Ashtakali Leela, there is vivaha every day in the Nikunja. And then there is no Balramji, there is no, there is no Chandravali, there is no Jatila Kotila, there is no Abhimanyu, only Radha Krishna. Navanivritta Nikunja. There's their Ashtakali Leela. But in our Ashtakali Leela, in our Vrindavan, in our Golok Vrindavan of the Gaudiyas, as given to us by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Rup Raghunath Goswami, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Govinda Leela Amrit, and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Krishna Bhavana Amrit, our Ashtakali Leela is different. In our Ashtakali Leela, there is Parakya Bhav. It's not Swakya Bhav. It's Parakya Bhav. When Radha and Krishna are not married. So it is different from other sampradayas. So it's not that there is only one spiritual planet, Golok Vrindavan. There are many if there can be many Vaikuntha planets, why there has to be only one Radha Krishna planet? No, there are many, because so many devotees have so many different bhavs of approaching Radha and Krishna. Ye yathamam prapadya tam sada bhajam. So Radha and Krishna. So this Siddhanta is very important, which not many devotees know. Sometimes devotees fight. There is only one Golok Vrindavan planet where Radha and Krishna are eternally 15 and 16-year-olds. Once I was speaking Damodar Leela, and one devotee was arguing with me that there is no Damodar Leela in the spiritual world. There is no Makhan Chori Leela in the spiritual world. It's only in the Bhauma Vrindavan. So I said, it's not like that. How it is? How it can be like that? So those who are upasaks of Laddu Gopal, where will they go? They will never go to spiritual world. You mean? Because he says there is no Gopal, there is no baby Krishna in spiritual world. In spiritual world, Krishna is always 16 years old. So that devotee is right in one sense that we go to a planet where Krishna is eternally 16 years old, 15, 16 years old. Nava Yavanamcha. But there are other upasaks who are upasaks of Laddu Gopal. They have Vatsalya Prem. And for them, Krishna manifests Golok Vrindavan planet where he is doing Gocharan Leela, he is doing Makhan Chor Leela. All those pastimes are going on. So there is not just one planet. This devotee was speaking from the point of view of one planet. But there is not one planet. There are many Golok Vrindavan realms. Many realms. And Krishna's Leela is unlimited in the spiritual world. Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So we should not have this Sankuchit Drishti. Narrow-minded view is not very good. So here Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining. And these words are spoken by Srila Raghunath Das Babaji Mahasaya, who is a friend of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and a disciple of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Jivas who are attracted to Sri Krishna's sweetness during their sadhana attain him in, because they are attracted to Krishna, they will attain the eternal abodes of Vrindavan and other similar abodes. Jivas who attempt to merge into the impersonal effulgence during their period of sadhana attain Sayujya Mukti when they are liberated. They want Sayujya Mukti. They merge into his effulgence and are thus completely destroyed in the form of Brahma Sayujya. That is called spiritual suicide. They lose their independence. Okay. So now we will continue here from tomorrow. We'll stop here. Shri Jaiva Dharma ki jai. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Mahashaya ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam.
Hare Krishna.
Jai Shri Radhe Shyam Prabhu.
Radhe.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.